Welcome back, real estate agents. I am very excited for today's video. Today we are going to be going over how to revolutionize the way that you do your content creation, create hundreds and hundreds of topics in a matter of minutes. That's right, minutes, not hours, and create entire posts around them so that you can have your entire content calendar done for the year if you wanted to in just a matter of minutes. So without further ado, let's get it. There are two main things we're going to discuss in this video, and I have two follow-on videos you are not going to want to miss. So the two things we're going to go over is how to come up with a ridiculous amount of content so that you do not have to worry anymore. You don't have to sit there at your computer or sitting on your phone on your couch trying to come up with what content ideas I need to create. You're going to create a ridiculous amount all at once, and then we're also going to create the actual picture that we're going to put on through Canva. We're going to do it in a bulk setting so that you have hundreds and hundreds of posts to pick from at any time. And then in two future videos, we're going to be discussing how to use the same tactic to do short form video and a couple other little tricks I'm not going to tell you about yet. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and make sure you ding that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time I do a new video. My name is Andrew, or you can call me Mongo. Let's jump to a computer and get into it. All right, now that we are at the computer, let's walk through this step by step. Now, before I start, I believe I mentioned it a second ago, but just in case, down in the description of this video, there will be a link and we will give you guys some tools to help you get started on this, but you don't need them if you don't want. You can just go through everything I'm about to show you, but it's there to help you. We've got some checklists in there, and we've got a bunch of different prompt ideas that you can give to ChatGPT to go through the stuff that I'm about to show you to do. So let's go ahead and start with sharing our screen here and going over everything that we have. So I'm going to make an assumption that most people watching this video have used ChatGPT, and if not, what I'm about to show you is so basic you're not going to need any extra training on it. So what we are trying to do is come up with a bunch of different ideas for content, and then we're going to take that content and we are going to create a ridiculous amount of graphics that we can now put into social media so that your social media is done, or at least one of your avenues is done. You should still be putting on personalized stuff on there from time to time and up-to-date information. And there's a lot of different strategies on that. I'm not going to talk about that right now in this video. We are going to be mainly focusing on how do we get as much content created as possible so you can take that off your plate. You don't have to think about it anymore. I know for a lot of you guys, that's going to sound like just beauty to your ears. Okay. So we're going to start in chat here. Now, there's a lot of different things you can push into this. You could just ask it outright for, give me 40 video topics to put on Instagram. I am a real estate agent and I would like to create multiple topics that I can post more about. Can you help me? Kind of winging this one. I do have some extra video topics over here on the right that we are probably going to use, and that does look like what we're going to do. So I'm going to stop generating this real quick. Just for ease of the video, to make this quick, I'm going to pull off one of the prompts that I like. Let's do, here we go. Can you provide me with a list of common questions about the home buying process? Okay, so again, you can find this in the remarks down below. I'm going to erase that just because I want it to look clean. Great. Now it is going to give you a whole bunch of different questions about the home buying process. It is giving us information that people generally ask based on internet search that it has done in the past. So this is giving us 40 examples. So that's great. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to open up Google Sheets. Let me start a new one here because I do have an old one from something I was just working on. So here's a new one. All right. So you can do this on an Excel spreadsheet as well. So if you are using Excel, these are interchangeable. We're just doing a very basic CSV file. I will show you why we're doing that here in a second. Just bear with me. Trust me, this gets good. So now that we've got a list of common questions about the home buying process that other people are asking, we're just going to take this right here and we're going to copy paste it. Obviously, check yours to make sure this sounds that this sounds good and none of it sounds a little wonky or anything like that. We're going to go to our sheet, go to the top right corner and just paste it. If you want, you can click this to make sure it looks all pretty, but you really don't need to. And then we're going to title this 40 home buyer frequently asked questions, FAQ. Okay. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to go ahead and hit file and we're going to download. If you are in Microsoft Excel, it's just going to be save as, and then which one of these you want. We want the comma separated values .csv. I will show you why here in a second. So now we've got this saved down here. It is also saved in a folder that I have already pre-chosen in case I want to get to it later, but realistically, you can do this one and done if you wanted to and call it good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into Canva here. And what I'm going to do is create my base templates really quickly. And then I'm going to do some follow-on work to make sure I have plenty of amazing information to push it to Instagram or Facebook or wherever you are pushing content. Preferably all of those, and LinkedIn and, YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Reels and, all of those places. But we'll get into those, like I said, in another video. Very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to search my content for stuff, and I'm going to type in Instagram or Insta, and I'm going to go to Instagram post, and I want to do square. I don't want to do portrait for this, although there is some advantage doing portrait. You take up more real estate on the phone. I'm not going to get into that. I think the square ones look a little bit better. So just for this video, this is what I'm going to do, but feel free to go ahead and do whichever one you prefer. So there's tons of different templates here. I'm going to find one that I like, or excuse me, I can go to create blank and it will create a new one for me. And let me move this one out of the way here for us. All right. So now up here in the search Instagram posts, I'm going to do tips. Let's see what happens when I type tips. Okay, find one that you like. I'm just going to kind of choose one at random here. Let's see. Oh, I don't like that one. That one's too many options. Today's tip. How about this one? This one seems good. All right, this one looks like it's a pro one. So if you are not paying for the pro account, you may not have access to this particular one, but that's fine. Find one that you like. I would like to preface before I go down this road too far, I'm fairly aesthetically blind to so the colors are probably going to look weird. For those of you guys that know what you're doing, that know how to make colors match together and look pretty, please do that, okay? I'm just going to show you an example, and then you guys can make it your own. So what I'm going to do here is today's tip. I'm going to change this to exactly what I typed in the CSV file, home buyer FAQs. And I'm going to open this up a little bit because I want it to look like it is on one page, or one line here, and I'm going to make this nice and centered there. Now it's got this information here. If you want to change the size, you can, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to make this real quick. Oops, don't do that. I was trying to make this smaller and I done messed up. Oh my gosh. All right. Nope. Canva's the best. Please help me. Send help. All right. There we go. All right. So this is the thing that we're going to change right here. So you remember this beautiful CSV file we created? Here's where it gets kind of fun. So we're going to go down to Brand Hub first. I want to make sure I set this up properly before we go too much further. So in the Brand Hub, if you guys are using Canva regularly, you may have already created a brand template. If not, click here. It'll take you through the steps. It's super easy. So we put in our logo in here, and using that logo, it yanked the colors out and created its own color palette from here. And then I was trying to do mine here, but as you can see, it's a way different color palette. So it created a color palette based on the logo. If that's all you do, fine. It's going to work out good. Now, this is where I was saying it's going to look a little bit iffy because I don't have an aesthetic eye, and I just want to show you what this looks like quickly. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to change the colors for me. Let's pretend this looks amazing. And I'm like, this is everything I've ever wanted. And I think this white logo here would look better than the colored logo here. Great. I'm going to go ahead and take this and move this down to where I want it. Let's say this is where I want it centered up. LPT Realty. Generally, I would like to have my team name on here as well, but let's just go ahead and move into that. Make sure that it follows all your guidelines, all of that stuff. Obviously, guys, you guys need to follow all the rules and stuff, but let's say this is it. Now, here's the cool part. When we come down over here on the left side here, I wish this Loom button wasn't in the way. I tried to use Loom for this, and now I'm using Zoom. But if you go down here on this left side, you're going to see one called apps. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up, click that button, and we're going to scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see one called bulk create. Yeah, this is where it gets fun, right? Now we're going to click this, and we can enter the data manually. I don't suggest doing that. I mean, I just showed you how to do it. It only takes a second. We're going to upload a CSV file, but first we need to click where we want the information to change. So I'm going to click this right here, and I'm going to go into upload CSV. And it's going to pop up, and I'm going to find this 40 home frequently buy, questions, download should be right here. 40 home buyer frequently asked questions, and click open. Now it is going to tell you, right click on an element in your page to connect it to your data below. So this is where we're going to find that little area that we want to select. We're going to right click, and we're going to go into connect data. And it's going to say, how do I start the home buying process? We're going to go ahead and click on that. Now, what this is going to do as soon as I click continue is tell me, hey, do you want to apply all of this data, all of these 40 different things? If you liked it, all of it looks good, go ahead and hit generate. Now, this is going to create 39 versions of this. And the really cool part about this is if you didn't like that color scheme, or you'd like to change it up to where things look a little bit different, then you can absolutely go into each one of these and change them every day that you post them, or you can break it up into groups of 20 and do a couple of different color palette options. Okay. 100% up to you on how you'd like to execute that portion. But if you look on here, what should I consider when setting a budget for buying a home? How much do I need for a down payment? What are the different types of mortgages available? How can I improve my credit score? So a bunch of stuff that first-time home buyers or home buyers in general might want to know. Now, that only gives us part of the equation, but now we have a great post that these are kind of those casual posts that you kind of always put on there just to stay top of mind. So in between doing your videos, which I highly suggest you do, but if you don't, you don't have to. This is a nice, easy way to do it. Now you've got all of this. You can come over here, hit the share button, and download whatever you want, right? So hit the download button, save them as PNGs or whichever way that you like. I suggest PNGs, and that's the same thing they suggest. And now you've got all of your content there, but that's not enough, because you're going to want some sort of verbiage in there, right? So that's where we go back. We've got our 40 frequently asked questions. Let's say we're going to start with this top one. How do I start the home buying process? I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go here to our chat GPT again, and I'm going to just go ahead and paste that question. Nice and simple. It's going to give me a lot of good information, and it's probably too much. So we can do one of two things. We can ask it to shorten it, or what I'm going to do is I just want it to create it for me exactly how I would like it, right? So I'm going to add a second prompt in here, and I say, great. Can you summarize this and make it friendly for an Instagram post to include emojis and relevant hashtags? Now, this is an extra step. You can sometimes get ChatGPT to understand how to, oh, wow, I don't like the way this looks. So we just try it again a different way. Maybe we go, let's see, let's take this out. And instead of adding emojis, because maybe that's too much, this is 100% preference up to you. And of course, your strategy on your social media to include any relevant hashtags. So now it should give me another option without all of the emojis. It's probably going to give some. It looks like it's going to give us a whole bunch. Feel free to play with this. I'm not going to go over the 100 different ways you can get this done. You can just outright ask it, please remove some of the emojis and, make it much shorter. Okay. But what we can do is we can take all of this information and we can copy it just like we did before. Now, there are strategies to the hashtags and things like that. Again, this is not a strategy video. This is just how to push the content very quickly video. Then we go over to Google Sheets, which is basically their version of Word. I'm going to move this over to Google Docs. I think it said Sheets a second ago. We're going to go over to Google Docs. We're going to do a new one. And I don't remember exactly what that first one was because, of course, I shut this down. So let's go back up and go. How do I start the home buying process? Generally, what I would just do is copy paste this whole thing here. Normally, I wouldn't lower the Google Sheets, and this would have been much easier. So it's got them all here. Don't worry that there's a little gray background. You're not really going to need that. And then we're going to go ahead and take, did I already copy paste it? I don't think I did. Go back to our answer to this. And let's say this is the one that we actually liked. So we go here, we copy paste it, assuming this is exactly what I want. Feel free to adjust it. You know, you don't have to use exactly what it says, but now it's got your post here. So you go down the line, you do the same thing for all of this. In fact, you can generally, not all the time, highlight all of them and say, give me a short and sweet Instagram post to include relevant hashtags for each one of these questions. And you can do 5 at a time, 10 at a time. You might be able to get away with 40 at a time. ChatGPT is not perfect right now, but it is free. So, you know, bear with it a little bit. There are paid products that you can go out there and do, and then you don't have to worry about doing this. You can just do it all at once. But just to make it free and easy, make it nice and clean. Now you've got that post. Now, whenever it's time to go post that, you go into Meta, you go into wherever you're posting this content, and you put that picture in there, and then you copy and paste exactly what it says here, right? It's got tons of hashtags for you. This is probably too much, but again, not a strategy video, just a push content video. And that's it. So now you can post your entire thing. If you're using Meta for Instagram and Facebook, you can use Meta for both of those and push it to both. You can adjust it and even go into here if you're like, hey, well, this doesn't look right for Facebook because it's too many emojis and hashtags, and Facebook isn't about hashtags. Got it. Cool. Ask ChatGPT to do it again without the hashtags, or come up here when it did it originally. And you could do this. This would be a really, really long post. So you can shorten it. Say, hey, knock this down into one paragraph, shorten this up into one quick paragraph that I can use on a Facebook post to my friends and family who might be considering purchasing a home or what have you. And it will give you another one there. I hope this was very valuable to you guys. If you got any value out of this whatsoever, please hit the like button and consider hitting the subscribe button and hitting that little bell so that you'll be notified when I do a new video. I do have 2 follow-on videos with this using a very similar strategy so that you can push out short form content in mass very quickly so that you have tons of videos, because we know video is very important. So that's not this video, obviously. This video is coming to a close, but if you hit that subscribe button, you will be notified when I do those 2 videos next week and the following week. So if you have any questions about anything else, all my information is going to pop up here on the screen. If you have questions about why I picked up and moved my entire team over to LPT Realty and got a resounding yes from every single member on my team when I told them what this brokerage was all about, you can go ahead and reach out to me. We can schedule an appointment and discuss that. That's all I've got for you guys this week. I'll see you guys in the next one.